And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay, all about helping you understand your buying decisions here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got a great lineup for you today. Later on in the program, we are going to talk to author, podcaster, and real estate investor Larry Harbolt. You've heard Larry on the program before. We got Ray Hall in the house as well, Ray Hall Appraisals, as well as Diane VANCE. We're going to talk about the full life cycle of your finances, specifically to the mortgage side as well. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We like to feature our listings live on air and help our sellers get maximum exposure so they can profit more and sell faster on their listings. 5014 Pompano Drive. This is a waterfront, beautiful property, canal front, boat access, bay access here in Tampa Bay. Beautiful property here. You've got 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, about 1,700 square feet of completely renovated and updated property at a single-family home with a large fenced-in backyard, corner lot location, community clubhouse, boat ramps, private community beach, circular driveway, and pool home right here in Tampa Bay. 5014 Pompano Drive, Newport Richey, Florida, and that's in Gulf Harbor. So you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And we give a quick shout out to our friends at Chad Irrigation. Victor and his team are actually working on our backyard right now, finishing up. We got the pool project completed. They're laying the irrigation in there, our sprinkler system, and of course we're going to put some sod in there. But yeah, they do a great job with all of our real estate properties, all the referrals we've given out. Everybody loves working with our show partners. Victor and his team at Chad Irrigation are another great example of that. So anything you need here in Tampa Bay, reach out to the hotline. We'd love to connect with you. 813-917-1894. Just call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 813-917-1894, and consumerqb.com. And if you can't catch the show at the 4 o'clock drive time, pull it up on Spotify and iTunes. You got the iTunes podcast right there. That way you can kind of stay up to tune with what we're doing here around the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Ray Hall's in studio. I wanted to introduce him, and then we're going to go to Diane. So, Ray, the market's hot. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
You know, it's one of those things. You see it. It's kind of...
We're going on 2 years now.
2 years of a hot market,
Yep.
low inventory.
Yeah. Things are still looking good in the market. We haven't seen any significant declines in value in any of the areas we cover. We've seen some kind of a leveling off in some areas, but some, we've seen, even in my own neighborhood, increases even from June.
Yeah.
Huge increases.
Yeah.
So, we still have a great market. Everyone's still wanting to come to Florida. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Especially right now, as cold and snowy as it is up north.
That's right.
So, we still got a great market, and, you can still take advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great time to be in Tampa Bay in real estate. And of course, we just launched our real estate school, by the way, Keller Williams Realty. We have a real estate school now powered by Kaplan. So anybody out there wants to get into real estate, we got a free option for you. It's an online course, so that's something cool that I just thought I'd mention there. Throw that out there. Right. And so more from Ray coming up. We're going to talk about land zoning as well. I think that's a pretty cool topic. Yeah. When you buy dirt, and how do you build? What's the process? What are the things to consider? Yep. So we're going to come back to Ray Hall here in a moment. We're going to go to the phone lines now. We got Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, DianeVance.com. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Brad. Brian. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm reading.
Oh, no problem. I know you're catching up on your reading there.
No, I actually was looking at something. His name's Brad.
I do that sometimes. Full life cycle of your finances. That's an interesting topic for today.
Yep. So I wanted to kind of talk about what Fairway actually the full life of a loan, basically. So we do loans from your first-time home buyer, whether with assistance, without assistance, or even a first-time home buyer putting 3% down. So what happens over the life of the cycle, you go your first home, you build equity, you sell that home, you go to the bigger home and you get the family, and then you kind of keep doing that, and then you finally go to, and you keep building equity as you go. So what happens when you finally get into your retirement home is either you've paid off your mortgage or you paid it down a lot or because of equity, you have a lot of equity in the house. Well, the fact is you can't spend equity. It's not cash. So a good rule of thumb is to go ahead and at the end we do a reverse mortgage so that you can pull that equity out and it turns into cash so that you can actually have a good financial strategy so that you can actually keep, you don't have a payment. So you start out making payments, but when you retire, you end up not having any payment. So you don't have to make a payment anymore, and you take that money and you go ahead and set it over, put it into you don't have to pull money out of your 401k or your retirement, and then that just keeps building as well.
Yeah, and it's a unique program. A lot of people have misconceptions about the program because when it was originated back in the 80s through the Reagan administration, there were some nefarious acts that were going on, is at least what I've gathered over the years from that program. But reverse mortgages can play a factor, especially for folks that are in the 60s, 61-year-old range. And how does that work, Diane? I'm just curious on the inner workings of this. So they're taking equity, somebody that's a senior, and are they using that equity kind of cross-collateralizing into other borrowers' portfolios, or how does that work?
So what happens is, let's say, or they can purchase. So let's say they're at 62 is the age, and you could be 61 and a half. Anyways, at age 62, anybody that's 62, they can get, let's say they sell a house up north for $150,000. Okay. They can come down to Florida and buy a $300,000 house because they've sold their house for $150,000, and then they would not have a mortgage payment. So what happens is that other $150,000, it's reverse opposite of what the forward mortgage is, where you're making payments. So what happens is the equity in the home actually makes the interest payments, but you also have appreciation so that you're actually, so that you don't make payments. You can make a payment for a tax strategy. Sometimes you may want to do that, but you're not taxed on the money that you pull out of your house or anything like that. So let's say you have it. So there's 3 different ways you can do it. If you can do a purchase, just like I talked about, that's going to give you more buying power. So, then you never have a mortgage payment, or you don't have to have a mortgage payment. You can choose to make a payment.
Right.
But let's say you don't ever make a mortgage payment and you live to be 100 and that house you bought at $300,000. Let's say it has no appreciation. Mm-hmm. Okay. And let's say you end up living longer than the lifespan that they project. Let's say the house is still only worth $300,000, but you actually owe $350,000. They do it's a modification, and the heirs don't have to pay the shortfall. It's a short sale, but the FHA is the one that insures this, mm-hmm. and they actually go ahead and they pay the difference. So the equity is always there if it's not used. So let's say I do a reverse mortgage and I pass away in 5 years. I still have a lot of equity that my heirs are still going to get. They have a year to sell the house. So that was a misconception before, or that's still the misconception. What happened was back in the Reagan days, they did not regulate it. And if you had a younger spouse or something like that, they had to move. Not today. You can have non-borrowing spouses, you can have borrowing spouses, but they're protected now. And that is the biggest difference in the reverse world. But it used to be kind of like the last resort. Now it's more of a financial planning situation where your buyer or you as a reverse mortgage person, you can buy the more expensive home. You don't have to take more money out of your retirement or your 401k or your IRA to purchase that home or to pay mortgage payments. So if you don't have to have a mortgage payment, all you pay is your taxes and insurance. You don't I'll do it personally. I can do it. So I will actually do that when I'm in my final home, and I will actually go ahead and do it. You can do it more than one time. So I could actually do a reverse mortgage, sell it later on, and do another one. They pay that off just like they do in an equity. But you're going to have appreciation. So when we do a proposal, what we do is we show the appreciation of 4%.
Right.
is what we do on a home. So we'll show that. We'll show the equity, what equity you have, and how many years later. So we take it out until we take it to the end of the life cycle. So the average age is about 80. What is it? I don't know, 84, 86 or something like that. And that's the way it's figured. But you can also take monthly payments. So let's say, that way, let's say somebody only has Social Security or something like that, and they need additional income, and they have all this equity in this house. There's no reason they should eat rice and beans. What they should do is go ahead and do a reverse mortgage. And they can get monthly income from that reverse mortgage. There's another option where they could, if they have a cash out full house, let's say their house is paid in full, they can actually pull out part of the payments, part of the equity, and they can also let the other part in what is called, it's all called a HECM, but they can actually earn interest on the other part that is sitting there. So there's a lot of different options to be able to end up having a mortgage-free home.
Yeah, I like that. We're talking about Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Number 3, top 3 lender in the country, doing a lot of volume, lots of great rates, programs to offer. Talking about today, we're spending some time on the home equity conversion mortgage, also known as a reverse mortgage. And yeah, I like the flexibility of that, especially for seniors to be able to access equity, get a monthly stream of income, and then it's also there just in case something happens, the car breaks down, you got medical bills, etc. Diane.
Oh yeah, it's people should. I mean, I talk to so many seniors that they come in, and a lot of them don't qualify a lot of times for a mortgage when they're trying to pull cash out. Well, reverse is a totally different animal than a forward mortgage. You don't really have to qualify. You do qualify, but not in the same way. We just have to make sure you have some income left over.
Right. Yeah, that's perfect. That's great.
So from start to finish, Fairway can help them through every part of their life.
Yeah, and then you look at the market right now too. There's opportunities. One of the biggest, I like to beat the drum on the renters as well. Renters are overpaying to live in a home, and not really getting the full use of it in some cases. Talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing on the rental side. People coming out of a rental situation going into home ownership.
That is probably our biggest demographic right now, is people that are renting and wanting to buy. Their biggest challenge, of course, is trying to find a place to buy because of the shortage of inventory.
Right.
But rents. I've had so many people. Some people are paying $2,500 to $3,000 in rent, even $1,500.
Yep.
$1,200. You can certainly find a home that you would be paying around that. So depending on how much, where your comfort level is, but you have no control over the rent and when they're going to raise. There is no rent. I think New York City is the only one that fixes the rent that they can't raise them. But we do not have that. So I've had some people that have had to renegotiate if they can't find a house right now, but their plan is they'll only sign a 6-month lease or something like that if they can't do it right now, so that they can actually plan on getting a home. I tell them how much money they need to save, what they need to do. If they need to fix their credit, we have a solution for that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to get into a home, but when you're renting, you're just paying somebody else's mortgage and you're building their equity. You're not building anything, and they can come in and they can raise it, $300, $400. There is no limit to what the rent is, and somebody will pay that amount. So if you're not paying that, then they want to raise it $400. Guess what? They'll probably get somebody to pay that, because again, it's even a shortage of rentals in the market, just like there's a shortage of homes.
Yep, absolutely. There is. It's all over the place. Inventory's, a challenge. It's been a challenge, and there's some solutions out there. There's some ways that you can be competitive, and staying off some of those search sites that have bad information. That's level one, and then aligning yourself with a great real estate agent, a team, getting that pre-approval in place, and there's some other things you do strategy-wise outside of that with addendums, etc., to position yourself as a someone who the seller is going to see as a more qualified buyer, and there's a lot of things you can do with that. Diane, talk to us a little bit about that, and then also, how folks can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so we actually have a program that is called Advantage Plus, and it's basically a full commitment. So it's not just my pre-approval, although any loan I approve will close. But it's a full approval that goes through underwriting, and it's a commitment letter that they actually have, the customer does, so they can actually go out and negotiate. And that actually gives them a leg up on somebody that just has a plain pre-approval, because that means that there is no question about this buyer. The buyer is qualified. It has a commitment letter stating all they need is a property, title insurance, appraisal, and homeowner's insurance, and they can close. So that is a big program that's been very popular because of the competition in the market. So that helps, and then along with a great agent that's representing them, being able to negotiate helps tremendously. But people can get in touch with me on my website, DianeVance.com. It'll take you to my Fairway website, or my phone number is 727-647-8199. They can text me, call me. I do get a lot of emails, so if you email me, you might want to text me, let me know you sent me an email. But that's where you can start.
Yep, perfect. All right, that's good stuff. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Again, top 3 lender in the country, doing a lot of volume with that. Comes great rates, great programs, and of course the service is the side that really separates everybody we talk to about Diane and her team. They do all great feedback, 100% feedback on working with Diane, and it being a pleasure to get things done. Diane, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we've got Ray Hall in the house, Ray Hall Appraisals here. We're going to talk about the market, talk about land zoning as well. What do you do when you're looking at buying dirt? That's a question a lot of people are asking right now, is because the inventory is so low. A lot of people are saying, hey, I might just buy some land, build a home. We're going to walk you through that with Ray Hall here, Ray Hall Appraisals. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, a mail carrier notices mail piling up and saves a resident's life. We'll be right back here on Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Got a hot listing here in Tampa Bay. This one's 820 Pinellas Avenue, Tarpon Springs, corner lot location, commercial property, right here in the heart of Tarpon Springs, Pinellas County. You got the walkability to restaurants, the sponge docks, and all of the shops down there on Tarpon Avenue as well. And a great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. Could easily be a attorney's office, real estate title company, insurance agent, some kind of professional office. 820 Pinellas Avenue, Tarpon Springs. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the program. Reach out to them directly. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. They've got the Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They offer new and pre-owned golf cars as well, and financing and mobile repair. Clearwater location right off of 19, and also Tampa location on 41. And you can find them online, discoverygolfcars.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got our friend Ray Hall in the house. Ray Hall Appraisals, longtime friend of the program here. RayHallAppraisal.com. Yep. And yeah, jump right into it, man. We're talking a little bit about, folks that are looking at the inventory shortages or saying, hey, I might focus on some land, and, what are the considerations when they're buying a lot and some land?
First of all, you want to make sure, excuse me, just getting over a bronchitis thing.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that the land is suitable for that kind of development. You want to know about flood zones, things like that. Had experience recently. I was appraising a house, and they were kind of in a rural area up in kind of Hernando County, Spring Hill area.
Yep.
And they put the mobile home on there, and come to find out, when it rains a lot, they get about 2 feet of water in their carport. So that's one of the considerations you want to find out,
especially if you're buying during the winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, when are you buying? What are you buying? Up north, you've heard about the problems where people go and look at houses when there's snow on the ground, only to find out there's a problem under the snow that they didn't know about.
Wow.
So you want to look for those kind of hidden things. A lot of people think about buying acreage to develop. Well, it's not as easy as just buying 10 acres and putting 100 houses on there.
Right.
What's the probability of getting permission to do that?
Yep.
Is it on a roadway that can service that kind of development? People have to turn in and out to get into that development. Do you have the room for that? So there's a lot of considerations. You do want to talk with an engineer. In the process of building, it's not you get the builder and it goes. There's a lot involved. You're looking at a good year and a half, probably. You built the house yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not an overnight process.
Yeah. Ours was upwards of 2 years plus, and it was just a lot of delays and a lot of challenges. But yeah, so you're always looking at, and then when you get into the building side, you get into the change orders and things like that. So you got to be really careful, document everything, get it all in writing. Going back to the land, so you've got soil, you've got the boundary, you've got utilities to consider.
Yep.
And then, as you mentioned, the flooding.
Yep. You've got the flood zones, and then the zoning.
Zoning.
I'll tell you a story, and this is in Tampa. If you're familiar with the zoning, I recently was asked to appraise a house, and they were kind of pushing me to get to a particular value. Yep. And I was uncomfortable with the situation. They were trying to tell me they can put 10 houses on this property, or 10 units. I said, but you're a single-family zoning. Well, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So finally, at the end of it, I said, you know what? I'm not going to charge you for any of my time up to now. I'm uncomfortable with this situation. I wish you the best. If the realtor thinks they can list it for that, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
To this day, it's still sitting over 100 days in this market, which, as we've discussed, nothing sits 100 days. And they're trying to market it as you can do this 10 units.
Right.
Trust me, folks, don't go by what the seller is telling you.
Yes.
Find out for yourself. Call the city, call the zoning department. They can literally look up the property for you and tell you what you can do and what you can't do.
Yep.
And that's the kind of education you've got to get into these situations when you're looking for possible development of a site.
That's right. Otherwise, you get that hard knocks education that
exactly,
they talk about. The school of hard knocks. More with Ray Hall here on the other side of the break. Ray Hall Appraisals on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel good story of the day as well. Find out about this mail carrier that saves a woman's life. And we'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, helping you win in any marketplace. Keller Williams, Sports and Entertainment certified realtor now. We just joined the Sports and Entertainment division with Keller Williams Realty, so it's pretty cool getting into some of the networking that we're doing there and working with athletes, celebrities. Also got the movie going on with Captain Will Smith, so real excited about that. A lot of cool opportunities around the show and around the Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment, getting into some of the name, image, likeness as well with NCAA college athletes. So a lot of good stuff happening here around the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team. We like to feature our listings so we can help you get more exposure, which leads to faster offers. 13335 County Line Road in Spring Hill. We just did a $50,000 price reduction on this property, so attention builders, developers. This is a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. This would be highest and best use, in my opinion, would potentially be a boutique hotel, maybe an assisted living facility, self-storage. This is almost, the acreage is close to 5 acres there, and it's a commercial zone property. Now, it's right next to the Villages of Avalon and Public Shopping Plaza. 13335 County Line Road in Spring Hill. A great commercial opportunity from the Platinum MVP team. 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard is another commercial property that we have listed here in Tampa Bay. This one's over $1 million, and it's about 7 acres. C2 zoning, got general commercial zoning, water and sewer available, and it's along the expansion along U.S. Highway 41. Great opportunity at 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard, right here in Tampa Bay, Land O'Lakes, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap up like the land zoning stuff. So when you look at land, the soil, the big thing too, if you're close to a body of water, you got the organics in the soil. Yep. We had to build our house with pilings, so you have to put these essentially, telephone poles essentially down in the ground. They beat them down there, and they're going, anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 feet, or some cases it's going to vary, but that's going to build and it's going to tie into your structure. So that's considerations as well when you have organics in the soil.
Right, and what people don't realize is there's a lot of different kinds of dirt in Florida. Yeah. And you'll have something called like Immokalee muck or something like that. And these are the real names. They're named after regions, and what a lot of them, the characteristic they look at also is how drained. They call it, is it well drained or poorly drained? In other words, is it dry? Yeah. These low-lying lands where the water sits in it, that's a poorly drained soil, and that is a consideration when you're developing, because like you said, do you have to put those pilings in there? Right. A house I just appraised up in the Odessa area was a lot of lakes. They've got sinkhole activity. Yeah. And I'm actually arguing with my client right now because I said it's basically land value. Mm-hmm. Well, no, we want as is. And I said, well, as is, fixing this is more than a house is worth. Yeah. I say, because you've got to put pilings all the way down. You've got to bring in so many yards of concrete. Yep. I said, it's, $700,000 for a $600,000 house. So that's the things you have to consider. So soil types, a lot of people don't realize all the different kinds of dirts and soils we have. Yeah. But there's websites out there where they'll show you what kind of soil is on the property, and you can do a little research, and there's a guide, and it'll tell you its suitability for development and things like that. Yeah, and up north you'll find a little bit more of the sandy type soil, Spring Hills and Hernando, Pasco, and then like you said, where I'm from, down around the muck, they used to joke about that in the football playing days. It's Belglade area. That's the muck down there. That's where they're growing that sugar cane, and I think it's because traditionally Lake Okeechobee would overflow and it would flood every year. It had that natural cycle. Yep.
And then that would make that land so much more rich and arable.
And you're right off the Everglades down there, and
Exactly.
probably one of the largest swamps in the country. So
Yep.
it is in fact, I lived down there for a short time when I first moved from New York.
Nice.
So yeah, that you do get those mucky areas down there. I had done some appraisals down there for the state way back when, where they were trying to acquire land down there, so that they can conserve it and preserve that type of land, because that is truly historical Florida.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
beautiful, man. Driving through, sometime every now and then you'll see some wildlife, panthers, deer.
Yep. A lot of people don't realize palm trees aren't even from Florida.
Really?
That was
I didn't
brought.
know that.
Yeah, palm trees.
Sable palm. I thought it was a state tree.
I don't. This
Sable
a
palm.
lot of the palm trees that we see around. The reason you only see them in the coastal areas is they brought them out there.
Oh, okay. Certain ones like royal palm, maybe from California, maybe or something.
But a lot of those trees aren't native. But you go to these swampy areas, that are beautiful and really really neat to go through.
Right on.
Those are the ones that are natural to the state.
Very cool. We're talking with Ray Hall, owner of Ray Hall Appraisals, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and Ray also offers checks on your home. Right now, some of the big considerations people are having is, should I list this home? What should I list the price at? And Ray, talk a little bit about the value offer. Maybe we'll offer it out there to a couple of folks.
So what we do is, obviously, it's hard to get an appraiser to come out these days. We're so swamped with the lender work, but we still want to be able to help people make good decisions, good purchasing decisions. So what we do is we actually send you a link online to your cell phone. You take the pictures, you give us the notes, you give us the information, you send it back to us, and we prepare the appraisal for you. So you don't need to schedule that inspection. I can usually get them done within about 2 or 3 days from receiving the information from you. So you can get that appraisal done, you can make that decision, and you don't have to wait on our schedule, because unfortunately, for most of our appraisals, I have to go out to the property, as do one of my other appraisers who work for me. This kind of shoots you to the front of the line so we can get that done for you, and we only charge you $200 for that.
$200, owner's use appraisal.
Owner's use appraisal. So it's for you to kind of get an idea of what your house is worth.
Yep.
It's $200. Maybe someone gave you an offer on your house and you want to know if it's fair.
Right.
We can go ahead and do that for you. It's cheaper and it's a lot faster.
Reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. That's a good offer from Ray Hall. Ray Hall Appraisals here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's going to do a owner's use appraisal. Just text the word offer to text the word appraisal, rather, 813-917-1894. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air number. Final thoughts, back to you, my friend.
Like I always say, just be careful going into these transactions. There's a lot going on out there. A lot of people, there's a lot of people selling off market, and don't think you're getting the great deal. Sometimes they're going to be going off a source that's questionable or doesn't have all the information available. So always work with an experienced team, people who know the market, know how to get through these transactions, and protect yourself and be an informed consumer.
Yep, be an informed consumer. Make smart decisions.
Absolutely.
And we love to help you do that here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All of our 80 different categories of consumer advocacy, whether you need to talk to an attorney, a CPA, a financial advisor, home services. We've got tech experts. We also have self-defense experts as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. And Ray Hall, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Taking a quick break here. When we come back, we've got Larry Harbolt. Larry is a wealth of information in the real estate world as well, and he deals a lot more with these off-market investor types of opportunities. He talks a lot about structuring the deal based on terms. So it's not just about the sales price and the offer amount. It's more about how you structure the deal, taking into consideration what solutions you can provide to the seller. So we're going to talk with Larry Harbolt here, real estate investor and teacher here on the Consumer Quarterback Show right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Looking for a venue to host your next business or family event? Make it Largo Event Center. The Consumer Quarterback Show has used the Largo Event Center, and the hall and service you get is fantastic. Over 8,500 square feet of meeting space, perfect for events, expos, and trade shows. Upstairs offers space for smaller meetings and groups to include use of their lounge and game room. Plenty of room outside for car shows or food truck events and concerts. Largo Event Center is just west of US 19 on 126th Avenue. For booking and details, visit largoeventcenter.com. That's largoeventcenter.com. Or call Guy at 727-776-3442.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, helping you win Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got Larry Harbolt coming up. He's a wealth of information in the real estate space. We're going to talk with him. Want to let you know about Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the program. It's the science of nutritional balance right here in Tampa Bay. They offer the Myers cocktail and other vitamin infusion drips. Goes directly into your bloodstream, and I love it. At least once a month, I go down and visit their Gandy location. They've got multiple locations. They can also come to you, your home or office. A nurse is going to come over and hook you up with a vitamin infusion drip and boost your immunity. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, we got a hot listing here in Tampa Bay. This one's on Oak Avenue in Palm Harbor. We got a vacant lot. Build your dream home on this vacant lot on Oak Avenue in Palm Harbor. It's canal front. You've got access to Lake Tarpon, which is a 2,500 acre lake. Imagine back in the lockdowns when everybody was locked down and you had these opportunities. You have your backyard and you have access to a lake. I mean, how great was that to enjoy a lake during a lockdown period of time? So just think about the freedom that you have. Of course, there's also Freedom Boat Club on the lake. You got access to the restaurant, the Tarpon Turtle. So that's a great lot that we have offered out at around $179,000 right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Also, we've got a property at 207 East Lutz Lake Fern Road. This is another vacant lot, parcel of land. We've got about a dozen or so parcels of land that you could purchase, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, we got our friend Larry Harbolt back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Larry.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, my pleasure. Figure out, throw it to you, man. Tell me what's topical in your world. What do you think with this time of, inflation at an all-time high, even stagflation just due to the lack of growth in the economy? What are you seeing? Lack of inventory, of course. What are you seeing out there, man?
Well, I'm definitely seeing a lack of inventory because we got so many people moving in from the Northeast and California, simply because we're a free state and people want to be here because there's so much opportunity here. So I know a lot of the developers are putting in a lot of new developments trying to catch up. So I think the market's going to continue to grow. I don't know about prices. I think prices are going to continue to escalate somewhat but I don't think they're going to continue to go crazy.
Yeah. So, definitely you have that blue state to red migration. I mean, you can't even get a U-Haul out of California anymore. There's no more U-Hauls left. They're all going one way. People are voting with their feet. So I'm with you on that. What I wanted to ask you your opinion on hedge funds too. Some of these hedge funds coming in, buying up so much inventory. I think they're somewhat nefarious in their business dealings and their actions, especially with the Fed, BlackRock, Blackstone, some of these companies. What are you seeing in that hedge fund world? It just seems like they're buying up a lot of inventory and they are converting it to rentals, and then they're jacking up the rents, pricing people out of the market.
Correct. Yeah, one of them that we've had here for several years, Blackstone, and I was told they're now paying for property 100 times what the property will rent for. So if the property rents for $1,000 a month, they'll pay $100,000, but that's all in. That's got to cover repairs, closing costs, and the purchase. But they've got unlimited funds behind them. They borrow, or they have the huge amounts of money behind them.
Yep.
And really, I don't think they care if they're making profit, because they're waiting for the upside to keep growing so that they're going to end up making a lot of money on these properties. So, they're not like you and I, where we have to make money. The property has to afford itself.
Right.
Or we can't afford to own it. That's one of the reasons it's harder to find income properties, is because they're swooping in and picking up all the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And they can pay cash. They can close quickly, where you and I, we can't do that and be able to afford the property.
Yeah, and on that note as well, I want to throw something in there with these BlackRock, Blackstones. A lot of them are getting sweetheart deals from the federal government. Political insiders, the elites, the globalists, the corporatists. They're making deals with China. They're getting these deals, and a lot of it's based on the ESG score. And a lot of people don't realize what that means. It's environmental, social, and then corporate governance. So in other words, if you're more woke, if you're more along these social new norms, or that they're trying to create as norms, and then how you govern your corporations, you're going to get better lending terms. You're going to get lower percentages on your money, and it's kind of like a good way for these political insiders to get cheap money, as you just mentioned, which is one of their huge competitive advantages. Right.
And it's terms you and I can't get.
Exactly. Right. So what can the average person do out there, Larry? Let's say I'm a newer guy, newer to the market. I want to invest. What can I do? What are some of your teaching courses about?
Well, some of the things that I have done, probably one of the most important over the years, I look for people that have what I call lazy money. They've got a retirement plan, or they've got an IRA where they can lend the money out, and I will borrow that money from them. I would rather they get, the money that I send them every month than go to a bank who doesn't care about me. So I look for people that have lazy money, and I borrow the money from them.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. So lazy money, and then you're able to buy on terms. Talk to me about what you've mentioned in the previous shows as well, because you can buy on terms in some cases.
Well, yeah, that's been the basis of my 43 years in the business. I buy directly from the seller, and I always try to set it up to where I pay them every month for as long as I possibly can. I want 30-year terms, and there are people out there that are willing to give 30-year terms, even though they're in their 70s, because they enjoy the income while they're still with us, but they have family members that can enjoy the income stream after they're gone. So, a lot of people like that, because when they have money in the bank at 0.1% interest, and I can give them 3%, that's 30 times more interest that they're getting on their money. And many people will go with that, because it's better for them.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And when you're looking for these opportunities, there's lots of ways to do it. Do you talk about the marketing side, or the ways that people can find these opportunities?
Well, I mentioned before, a partner and I, we are building an app that goes on our phone where people list off-market properties. None of them are listed. They're off-market. And for a monthly fee, you can have access to a 50-mile radius where you live or nationwide. If you can find properties in other states that you want, or you know someone that lives in another state that's looking for property here, it's a great marketing tool. But with the subscription, you can contact the owner, you can put a deal together, and none of them are listed. We don't allow any listed properties on it.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. I like that. That's something that people are looking for, because everybody comes to me and they says, "Look, I'm a cash buyer. I want to buy off-market properties." I say, "Well, you and everybody else." So the idea there is, how do you find a deal before it's even a deal, right? How do you cultivate these deals? So a lot of people do mailers. That's kind of a watered down space. It's a saturated space, market to be in, mailing out mailers, and then getting to the absentee owners and those types of things, out-of-state owners. You also can do the bandit signs, but then you're going to get all these local municipalities all over you. What's the secret sauce there, Larry?
Well, for years, my wife and I have done letters to non-owner-occupied free and clear properties, because when they're free and clear, we don't have to worry about what their underlying payment is. And we want properties that they don't live in, simply because if they live in a property, any 2 of the last 5 years, they can take up to $500,000 of their profit tax-free. If they don't live in it, I don't care if they live next door, they're going to have huge capital gains issues. So I look for properties that are paid for, they don't live in, and we try to strike a deal with them that's good for them and it's good for us.
And would you take over title at that point, or do you have to pay off a certain amount, then take over title?
No, they're free and clear. There's no debt on it.
Okay, so they're going to transfer title once you sell it.
No, once we buy it, they give us the deed, but they keep their thumb on the deed with a note and a mortgage that we give them.
Got it. Okay. Yep. There's a lot of ways to get creative. Larry's been doing it for a long time. You said 43 years now, Larry? 43
I've been in the business, yeah. Now, my letter is a little bit unique. I don't look like a huge corporation. We look like a mom and pop. The letter from my wife starts out by saying, "Hi, my name is Christine Harbolt. My husband Larry and I are investors looking for a few rental properties we can buy for our retirement program. We found your name in public record, and we're wondering if you'd be interested in selling the property you don't live in." That's the first paragraph. So it looks like we're a mom and pop.
Yeah.
Because when you look like a big corporation, flexibility goes away and price goes up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That makes a lot of sense. So we're talking about the market right now. Here we are, in Tampa Bay, early part of 2022. You got record low mortgage rates still, at or near record low. And what do you see? What's the forecast for the future, Larry?
Well, I see interest rates are going to go up. Mm-hmm. That's definite.
Yeah.
But here again, when I'm dealing with a seller, interest rates in the marketplace mean absolutely nothing. Because if I can get a payment from them that we negotiate that allows me to rent a property and pay for it, I can give them 6% interest if they'll give me a payment low enough that will allow me to cash flow the property. It's a negotiation. It has nothing to do with bank rates or market conditions. Because what I do, they did back in biblical days. When you bought something, you bought it from who owned it. We can do it 1,000 years from now unless the government changes that.
Yeah.
You pay the person you buy the property from. Some will, some won't. I know every person I sit down to talk to, the first thing they say is they want all cash. But what are they going to do with the cash? And many of them, they want to put it in the bank. Oh, you want to put it in the bank at 0.1% interest. What if I was offer you 30 times more interest? Would you be interested in that?
I like it, my friend. LarryHarbolt.com. Find him online at LarryHarbolt.com. And keep it up out there, Larry. Good job, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you much.
My pleasure. All right, another great show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you online on social at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, and Getter. I've also got the YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty, Spotify, and iTunes podcast. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.